Good morning, everyone. Today's video is going to be very simple. It's going to be your unemployed friend on a Wednesday afternoon. And what do you do when you're unemployed on a Wednesday afternoon? We're going to find out. Now we're heading to the nearest metro station where we're going to be taking a metro downtown, and we'll see and take it from there. Maybe we'll scale a mountain. Right now we're near McGill, some sort of corridor that looks like this, some walking corridor. Sometimes I wonder, just sitting here, I wonder if Excel didn't exist, what would we be doing? I mean, if there was no emails, would we be looting dungeons or on some sort of other quest? It really makes you think that if it wasn't for Excel and these CRM things, I mean, what are we doing? Shouldn't we be hunting wild boar and finding trinkets and sleeping in towers overlooking seas? What are we doing? It just makes you think. I don't know. But I guess we're going to see. Anyways, we're going to keep walking up this hill and we'll see where we get here on this fine Wednesday afternoon.
Watching the lectures.
Where are we? All right, so that must be Dr. Penfield. Now we are walking up towards the hill, or is this Dr. Penfield? Where are we? It smells of horse remains. Let's keep walking. We're now somewhat up a mountain here. Looks like there's a bit of a waterfall there. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I've been walking by a bunch of students and nobody smells of marijuana. What are they doing nowadays? What's going on? Does nobody consume marijuana anymore? Like, is it sports gambling? What is it? We don't know, but I guess we're gonna find out what the next vice is. It's good to see that there's some people working out in the middle of the day. I'm unemployed here, scaling a mountain, an icy mountain, wearing shoes. Probably not my smartest idea, but here we are. Haven't eaten anything all day. I don't even know why I brought that up. I'm not even hungry. All right, let's just scale the mountain. See, right here, this is what I'm talking about. You see like those stone waterfalls right there? That's what I mean when I say, if it wasn't for Excel, if it wasn't for any of these things, we would be scaling mountains, hunting, making campfires, searching for clean water to bathe. But instead, we're on Excel just doing these pointless jobs that nobody cares about. Really makes you wonder, when did it all go downhill? I should be looting dungeons, is what I should be doing, looking for troves of gold and other treasures. Anyways, we'll continue to scale the mountain. We'll see where we get. Makes you wonder, if all that water is pouring down, where's it coming from? Because there's no stream at the top. This is Mount Royal, there's no stream, so is this just all melting snow, or what's going on? Where's all this water coming from? Should that be the goal of this video? Let's find out where this water is coming from. Now, I would say that this is a nice viewpoint, but you have to think that right now there's no leaves. If there was leaves here, we would not see anything. This would just be green or yellow or whatever color they would be. So this is not one of the best viewpoints. Let's keep going up and we'll see how far we get and what we see. As it happens, no matter how high you climb, it still smells of horse poop. I don't know how. One guy was climbing up to here from down there, claims that it's 600 calories per up and down. Wait until he finds out that it's probably closer to 35 to 50. Wait until somebody tells him that. Maybe he's just delusional. You know what? Just let him live in the delusion. Delusional people are usually most happiest, so He's doing it right. I'm the one who's doing it wrong. As we continue to scale this mountain with all these stairs, the thing that's tricky about this staircase is that none of the steps are equal length. Either poor maintenance or whatever the case may be. That's what makes it difficult. That if you look at these steps, look at them. They're not equal length. I don't care what you say. I don't know who they hired. Probably paid tens of millions for this. And they can't just build a proper staircase. They're all different. Anyway, we'll keep going. Probably a unsurprising thing to say as a Montreal resident, since I don't think any of us really are tourists in our own city, but the last time I've seen this place was maybe 15, 16 years ago. And it looks exactly the same. The name is Chalet du Mont-Royal et Belvédère Condiaronc. Alright guys, that's the name. Try saying that 32 times fast and see if you have a seizure or not. What I mean, just people hanging out on a Wednesday. You know what? It turns out I might not only be the only unemployed person. Maybe this person worked the evening or nights, but we'll ignore that. Maybe they're students and have the day off, or just don't work Wednesdays, but we'll ignore that too. We'll say we're all unemployed, regardless of age. I don't know why those kids aren't in school. Maybe they're tourists. Let's not film the children, or at least not intentionally. But this is the view here. And the disparity between the concrete jungle and the trees here is not as impressive as I admittedly would have thought. Maybe if the trees were green it would have been different, but it is what it is. If you look very far over there, you see the Jean Cartier Bridge, which I believe the federal government spent $400 million to light up. I don't really know what the goal of that was. If you split that by the population of Canada, which is 40 million, or by all taxpayers, which is probably closer to 8 million, that's at least $50 of my money that contributed there, assuming everybody pays equal, which they don't. Never seen that bridge light up before in my entire life. It's 10 years that those lights are supposed to be up. Anyway, that's what it looks around here. It's decently nice. There's people just hanging out, hanging about. Thankfully, it doesn't smell of horse excrements here. Like it did walking up here. I was choking nearly the entire time. But you know, that's just that's the flair of Montreal. That's what you get. You know, it's just it's a little bit of European touch where it just always smells of garbage. At least in these locales. Look very far into the distance. You'll see a mural of Leonard Cohen, who was a singer, songwriter, etc., artist. Don't know if I could zoom in that far. We're gonna keep walking here, and we're gonna keep going more west. West of here, there should be Beaver Lake and other things. There's some sort of Mount Royal tower of something. I don't really know what that does. I've been seeing it for years. Don't know what it does. Here there's two flags. Admittedly, I don't know what one of those two flags are. It is what it is. I'm sure if you ask at least 50% of Quebecers, they can't tell you what that second flag is. I don't even know. Look over there. What is that second flag? There's Canada and there's... Alright, now I'm just showing my ignorance. But anyways, that's what we're doing here. Wednesday afternoon. We're still strolling. We're going to head west here. Maybe we're going to pass by Beaver Lake. Apparently they're doing an $18 million renovation here at this park, which, according to Montreal standards, means that they'll likely only install 2 or 3 benches that will perhaps be stolen within the season. But that'll be close to the $18 million renovation that I'm assuming they're looking to do by Montreal financial standards. So we'll go take a look and we'll try to see what they could possibly be changing. Hearing this tower, I'm starting to wonder, imagine this is some sort of top secret CIA government alien communication tower. You know, I always think of these things and I just try not to say them out loud, not seem like too much of a conspirator. But you look at those things and you wonder, you never see anybody working there. You don't know anybody who's ever worked there. We don't know any of the companies that ever constructed these things. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. Anyways, let's keep walking. That was just a random thought. Completely unnecessary. We'll cut that. Does anybody else ever have these thoughts that whenever you see wilderness like this, I mean, these are still touched lands. There's still, you know, landscaping's done. Whenever I see, even in the woods, and I look and I say, imagine just bleeding out in a forest like this. Imagine against overwhelming odds, you fought against an incoming trove of crusaders who were bent on impregnating the women and stealing the children. And then against overwhelming odds, you end up becoming victorious, but you were dealt a fatal blow, and now you're perched at the bottom of one of these trees, slumped down, filled and soaked with your own blood. Your chainmail is falling apart, and you're victorious. Where am I going with this? All right, we'll cut that too. So many rocks in my shoes right now, but there's not a bench in sight. Look here, I cannot. Oh, maybe I could sit on one of those rocks and take some rocks out of my shoes. Maybe that's what we'll do. Every time I see something like this, like that guy in the back with the bike, I always say, he could just fly right by me, snatch this camera out of my hand, and there's nothing I could do about it. We'll do a London style. Nothing I would be able to do about that. But, you know, try to have even just a sliver of confidence. Oh, that was close. I was almost dealt a fatal blow on that one. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying, and now I'm already too far from the rocks. We're not turning back. We're on this path now. I don't even remember what the path was, but we're on this path, and we're continuing up this mountain. We're on the path of demonstrating what unemployed people do on a Wednesday afternoon. And a lot of people complain about that. They think it's an insult when you say that, but I don't know, I think I'm having a good time. Imagine that. I could be either on Excel right now doing price checks, you know, checking other things that I could not care less about, or I could be here right now in the open, whatever this is, some mud. Hey look, skating rink. Is that Beaver Lake? I think this is where they want to do, is this where they want to do the $18 million of renovations? What are they renovating? This is the only manicured part of this entire park. What are we renovating here? Is this a slide? Let's go see. Is this a slide? Can we slide down? Well, I mean, we could, but we'll most definitely get hurt. Stepping on snow, not the smartest thing with these shoes. Imagine being a kid and sliding down this mountain instead of Marie-Victorin, which is a smaller mountain that no longer exists near where I used to live as a child. Imagine sliding down this instead. Yeah, you know what? Better I didn't do that. For sure, I would have dislocated both shoulders at a young age. Better I didn't do that. My cousins and I sliding down that mountain, that would be bad news. We're just gonna keep walking, and we'll go find out what these $18 million of renovations are supposed to be. What this renouvellement is supposedly doing. By the way, I'm making up numbers. I don't know if it's 18 million. I've just been making up facts this entire time. But, you know, it's just what we do here. Alright, I'll be first to admit that I completely forgot about the rocks in my feet until I've realized that the rocks are now in the callus of my feet. However, we are approaching a bench, therefore we'll use that. And that's one issue that will be taken care of very shortly. But here, you know, we're looking around. Not many people in the park. Maybe I would have expected more, but at the same time, maybe everyone is really at work. It's a little bit too quiet here. Is unemployment bad? Is that the question of the video? It's a Wednesday afternoon. What's going on? I'm gonna go sit on that bench, take that rock out of my foot before I forget again. Alright, I just want to say I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy when I say it smells of horse excrement everywhere. Look at the size of these paths. These are not human feet, all right? This has to be a horse. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Even the width. Okay, maybe not the width. Now that I think about it, the width is off. What am I getting at with this? Where am I going with this bit? Here's a nice little park. It's at times like this where I regret wearing shoes and not boots. And here I am now, stepping into all of this. We're just going to try and navigate this. Now we're going to try a little leap over here. Let's hope we made it. Made it. It was good footing on that. We will continue to trek this terrain. There's just one little stretch here, maybe a 15-foot stretch of pavement. Look at that. A nice little 15. Maybe that's what the 18 million is. The 18 million is they're going to finish this stretch the whole way, because right now it looks like they only did this part. Maybe that's what 18 million is going to pay. They're going to stretch it out over there. By the way, I've been running on about this 18 million. I really don't even know how much it is. I don't even know if it is Beaver Lake. This is the lake. Or I mean, it's a lake when it defrosts. It's man-made lake. I don't know if that's a fact. Don't look it up. We'll just say it's man-made. Don't look it up. But it's a lake on a mountain. It's like, what's another one that I've been to? It's like that lake in the city of Nikko in Japan, where it's a high altitude lake. I don't know why I just brought that up. Should we go back there? Maybe. Let's continue trekking this increasingly grotesque route, and maybe we're gonna find out where that 18 million is going. And I wonder if it has anything to do with this path right here. We're gonna come back to this in 12 years when they're done doing the renovations and they're 32 million over budget and no one's ever seen a single person work. We're gonna come back and revisit this video. We have finally made it on pavement, on sidewalk, on actual infrastructure. However, at this point, I'm starting to think we might be in Westmount just by how flat these streets are, how quiet it is here, and how likely it is for me not to be subjected to a crime of any sort. That's what makes me think we're in Westmount right now. We'll keep walking and we'll see where we get from here. We have now made it on a actual boulevard. I believe this is Côte des Neiges. I'm not sure. There's a street sign there, but even wearing glasses, I still don't have the vision to be able to properly decipher what it says. Oh, okay, this is Trafalgar. So, you know what, let's turn right on the next street. The next street should be the Boulevard. That's the name of the street. We'll turn right on that street and see where it takes us. We have somehow found ourselves scaling yet another mountain here as we're walking up this hill. Is this, maybe this is Belvedere Road? Maybe, just by the way it curves. I should really check the street signs. Nonetheless, we're going to scale up this mountain and we'll see where it goes, and then we should probably head towards civilization at some point. Fun fact, by the way, when you park on a hill, I don't know how it is elsewhere, but you see how this pickup is parked with his tires turned towards the sidewalk? That is the correct way to park when you're parking on a hill. Because if for some reason the diff lets go, whatever, handbrake, if it's manual, if you're neutral, etc., you go onto the sidewalk and you run over the pedestrians rather than going to the other side of the street and hitting into a car where individuals are protected with airbags and other mechanics. Still scaling mountain roads. Something I just noticed here is right here, this house right here. That house on my right is the Brofman house, which I believe is the wealthiest family in Canada, but that is their house. By now it should be behind me. So that's always an interesting little thing to see. I think, I don't even know what they invest in, but I think they're worth tens of billions, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Fun little fact. Walking on Sunnyside, I believe, and this house here to my right here, I believe this is Jacques Villeneuve, a Formula One world champion and son of the legendary Gilles Villeneuve. I believe that is his former household. Could be wrong, but I believe that's the one, and I'm quite confident. Don't fact check anything I say. This home right here on my left is the Timmins estate, which I believe was only recently purchased by the owner of Essence, the fashion brand, and it is going through a complete restoration. It does look quite historic. It does look like it needs some sort of renovation. I like that sort of gothic look though. It's nice. Oh, I think a tree's falling, or maybe there's people working there. We're just walking. You know what? Maybe we should go higher on the hill. I am on the brink of sweating. Let's go higher on the hill. All right, it looks here like we're heading towards Summit Crescent or some sort of outlook here. I do have rocks in my shoes right now, but there'll likely be a bench here. Speaking of shoes, this house right here is owned by the family who started Yellow Shoes about 100 years ago. So 100 years or so ago. There you go, that's better. So now we're gonna walk here, hopefully find a place to sit so I can take rocks out of my shoes. We are now at what is called the Summit Lookout. I'm not sure if you could hear me very well with all this wind, but let me just give you guys a glimpse of the view. And if you look in the distance there, that building with the green roof, that is the CEGEP that I went to, which is Dawson College. In the distance, you'll also see the Champlain Bridge, and you'll see a few mountains. I don't know what mountains those are, but nonetheless, this is the lookout. And there we have the downtown area. Beforehand, we were more east, and that's when we had that different view of the downtown where we were looking directly at it. Here, we're looking directly into Westmount, and I think if you continue, there might be St. Henry, maybe Griffintown, more towards there where there's condos, There's downtown, that's around there. And over here, it looks like there's rules here. There's a curfew from midnight to 5 in the morning. And I have no real purpose here. I'm starting to sweat a bit, so maybe we're just going to hang out here for a few moments. And then we're going to continue our walk. I don't really know where. Maybe we're going to head down westbound, and we'll take it from... I don't really have any goal here. I mean, there's not many people here, but that's due to, I assume, it being a Wednesday afternoon and people are earning a living, unlike myself right now. Anyway, we'll just we'll do exactly as I said. Just to note that this house right here behind this wall right there, that is Lawrence Stroll's Montreal home. However, I believe his main residence is where his old racetrack is that he no longer owns, Circuit Mont-Tremblant. That's also where he keeps one of only 34 Ferrari 250 GTOs. I don't really know too much about the race heritage of that vehicle. I just know there's 34 of them. Can we walk here? Okay, we can walk here. I just know there's 34 of them, and the value of that car far exceeds the value of any home here. I know that the owner of WeatherTech recently purchased one for $70 million US, and I know Lawrence Stroll has one. He also has an F1 team. Anyways, we'll keep going with the stroll. Have any of you ever been so unemployed that you find yourself just walking through random neighborhoods in your city? That's just where we're at right now. We're just going for a leisurely stroll here, just walking around. Not really seeing anything particularly new or extravagant or with any real goal in mind. I feel like we had goals earlier in the video, and then my mind just went 16 other directions, and here we are now. We're just walking. No goal in mind. Can we go down there? Nope, that's private property. Just looking for a staircase to get down the mountain easier, but it looks like I will have to follow the roads since all of the public trails are full of ice and snow. And just as I said that, I happened to come down this trail right here. So it looks like someone was listening to me, and we're just going to go down here now towards the boulevard. And then from there we'll see what we encounter next. Interesting little known fact is this home here on my left that you see right here was for sale about 12 years ago for $525,000. And today it's likely evaluated closer to maybe $6 million. But remember guys, the housing crisis is because young people just don't want to work hard enough. It's you. It's not the market, it's not any of that, it's you. Just work harder. It's your fault you can't afford a home or anything else really. Can't even afford a bag of apples anymore. Just, have to eat frozen string beans as any source of fruit/vegetable. It's your fault, just remember that. It's definitely not the market or any other macroeconomic factors that have been left to fester and just get worse and worse over time. Almost done descending this hill. I'm starting to wonder, is this what all of our parents meant when they used to, back in the day, walk to school and back 22 miles uphill in the snow, but uphill both ways? Is this what they meant? Where it's just uphill both ways. I don't know why. Everybody's immigrant parent walked to school there and back uphill both ways, and it was always a snowstorm. Doesn't matter if they came from a small southern village in Italy, doesn't matter if they came from the warm islands of Greece, there was always snowstorms every day, and they just always had to brave those snowstorms. I don't know how that just kept happening every single day. But it looks like we have King George Park. Never knew this was a thing, but now we know it's a thing. And right here we also have a bench behind me. Is it just me? I don't know what it is with me and the fascination of just finding isolated benches. Like, even if we just turn around and would just take a look. And I particularly noted this interest of mine. Right here, look, we'll just look at the bench. I particularly started noticing this interest of mine when I was in Nagoya, Japan, where they just, sometimes in the middle of nowhere, there will just be a random bench. It's so strange that always piques my interest, considering I almost never sit during the day, whether I'm working or I'm at home, even when I eat dinner. As strange as it sounds, when you're like me and you live alone and you live at home and, well, at your own home, you just eat standing up. I just eat at the island. Cook it right there and then I just eat it. Anybody else do that? Just me? It's alright. Alright, it's just me. I finally found it. I told you I was onto something. This is most definitely horse poop. All right, that's just a lot of horse poop. I knew there had to have been horses or something, and see all that horse poop right there? I wasn't just smelling things. I've smelled it even before, earlier in the video, at the start of the video. That's what I was smelling. It's everywhere. What's going on? I haven't seen a single horse. Why are we in the middle of the city and there's just horse poop? What's going on? Why is there horse poop here? Imagine you live in this house right here. You know, you have your G63 AMG in the driveway, and about 80 feet from you, there's just a big pile of horse poop. Is it just me? Anyways, just keep walking. See what else we find. We're now on de Maisonneuve, and we are heading towards Dawson College. I haven't been back here since summer 2013, I believe it was. It was then when I had dropped out. Haven't been back. Probably looks exactly the same, since English schools don't really get any public funding. Don't fact check that. Could be real, could be not real. I don't know. Probably real. Anyway, we're gonna keep walking. Right, and here we are. This is Dawson College. And I remember when I had classes in that wing right there. I believe that's the F, G, or H wing. And I would always sit next to the window just so I could stare outside and have some sort of stimulation, since I could not care less what was being said in class. And still today, I would probably do the same thing. And I would just stare at people walking by, just like I'm doing right now. Just like how people are staring at me right now as I hold this camera pointed at my face. But it is what it is. If you don't really care about it, then you just stop caring. It's crazy how that happens when you just don't. When you choose not to care about something, you just don't care about it. It's so simple how that works. You only realize just how simple it is when you finally start doing it. Doesn't matter. People are looking at me weird. It's all good. I don't care. You know what? I'll keep doing it. This is what it is. What was I doing? You know what? Let's go to Alexis and Neon Plaza. I haven't been here forever. Let's see what's going on over here. All right, we just made it out of Alexis Neon Plaza. Very, very different. Now we have the old Montreal Forum. And we're going to see if this place changed, but Alexis Neon doesn't even have a food court anymore unless it's in renovations. We'll see if this is the same place. I remember they had an old set of stairs from the original arena, and I used to sit there and just read books, and it looks like... Are they there? No, they're all renovated. That's unfortunate. But over here in this section, directly ahead of me, there used to be an old set of stairs from the original arena decades ago, and it looks like they have since replaced that. So this is what they've replaced it with now, but beforehand you had an original set of stairs going up, and anybody was just allowed to sit over here, and this is where I used to do my schoolwork. And I used to just sit over here, read books, do schoolwork, and now it's been replaced with these very unattractive and generic seating arrangements. Reminds me of how the old McDonald's used to look, with all the colors and Ronald McDonald and all that stuff, and now it's they're all bland, they're all white, gray. It looks like just any other place. Before it looked, you know, full of colors and stuff. Look at this looks completely dead. It's just a cinema now. There's nothing to it. This entire section right over here used to be where Dawson students would just be sitting around, hanging around, and there used to be the original seats right up here going up. That doesn't exist anymore, I guess. That's quite disappointing. This does not look better. This is not a refreshing change. So unfortunately, they've changed that, and I don't know when. I don't know. Maybe I can ask. Excuse me, sir. Do you know when they changed here from the old seating to the new seating? Because remember, they used to have the old seating here from the old arena. Do you know?
I think they changed during the COVID time.
During COVID. That's unfortunate. That was a classic piece of history. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so it looks like during COVID they changed from the old seating to this generic seating.
Sorry, sir?
Yes.
This camera, you have to take the permission for the administration before you can use this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just close it then.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we can't film here. Oh, we just got kicked out of the old forum. Apparently we can't have cameras in there, where they need my signature or something, and permission takes like 72 hours or whatever. I don't know. I didn't even care. I just turned around and left. The guy was then trying to haggle me and tell me that I need to sign a paper or something. I wasn't signing anything. Anyway, looks like we're just going to call this video. We're going to head back to the metro. Here we're next to Atwater. We're going to head back to where I'm parked. Hopefully there's no ticket and my car is still there and it's not on bricks. And then we're going to head home and call it a day. All right, guys. Well, that was it. Video's coming to an end now. Let's get back in the car. We're now only meters away from it, and we'll go play dodge the potholes on the highway and get home after about 45 minutes of unnecessary traffic. And we'll see you guys in the next video if I decide to continue making videos like this. That's what an unemployed Wednesday afternoon looks like, for me anyway.